Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bobby Valentine Sports Show. I am your host, Frank Rampin, alongside Sal Grinstead. Week 9 of the college football season in the books. Next week, double digits, just absolutely crazy. How we did this week picking, Sal? What were our records looking like after this past weekend?
Well, you certainly did a little bit better than I did. I mean, I wanted to go a little crazy, pick a few upsets last week, but you went 7-3 this week. That brings you up to 29-11 on the year, which is pretty damn elite, if you ask me. I took a step in the wrong direction. I went 5-5, 26-14 on the year. Still plenty of weeks. I can come back and get you, but let's get back to picking the good games, not picking all the upsets every week. I keep getting crazy with it.
I was trying to get crazy last week. I had Mississippi State. They almost pulled one off. That was a wild game, but let's dive right into it. Let's go through the top 25. Number 1, Ohio State did not play this past weekend, so let's start at number 2, the Indiana Hoosiers. Unbelievable. They look awesome. A lot of people, we mentioned last week, UCLA came in hot, potential to give them a little bit of scare. Absolutely not. Fernando Mendoza and the boys and the defense, oh my gosh, just all over the place. 56-6. This was not even a game. Kurt Tignetti and the boys are just rolling, and he looks pissed off at the world.
This game was like if you put Indiana against your local middle school football team that's a co-ed team. I mean, this was a beatdown from the jump. And I mentioned it last week. I expected it to be a little bit tight, but Kurt Tignetti, man, he gets those boys out ready to go every weekend no matter who they're playing.
Yeah, he's awesome. And this used to be what happened when you went to go play Indiana. Now it happens when they beat your ass. They're going to beat you by 50. Pretty wild. Number 3 team in the country. Ooh, did they make a statement as well? Headed to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and they got a head coach fired. They went into the Bayou, dropped 49 points on LSU, beat them 49-25. LSU had the lead at halftime. This was like they had a chance. They got a safety in this game. Like it was going LSU's way to start. And then I don't know what Mike Elko said at halftime, but oh boy, Marcel Reed and the boys came out firing on all cylinders. It was a beatdown in the second half, 49-25. And like I said, Brian Kelly relieved of his duties. Another big-name college football coach fired. And LSU might be the belle of the ball coaching jobs now.
I texted you late in the third quarter of this game, and I said, when it was 35-18, I said, I think Brian Kelly might get released this week.
Yeah, you did.
And it is crazy to think because it's a $50-something million buyout, but you see Penn State do something like that. You know, you look at the last 4 LSU coaches they've had, they've all at least won the SEC championship in their first 4 years.
All won a national championship in their first 4 years.
It's crazy. And this is obviously his 4th year. He's a $100 million coach. They have a $18 million roster, a 5th-year quarterback, and they have 3 losses, and we're not even in November. So it was certainly time for him to go. And you look at, the game between Texas A&M and LSU last year, the game this year, it was almost a spitting image. I mean, you combine the 2 second halves, Texas A&M has outscored them 49-10 in the last 2 games. And you normally don't go into Death Valley and come out surprisingly winning. They beat the shit out of them in the second half.
Wild.
Just absolutely shocking. And I'm glad Brian Kelly's gone. I mean, I don't know where he's going to go. He might have to come back here to Assumption. Get right the ship for him, but
hey, Michael, coach the Minutemen for you boys.
Well, he'd be a good fit, being they've lost 8 in a row now and still 0-8. So,
yeah, that was a crazy game. I believe that was the first time in 12 years that the road team won in that series. Just a ridiculous stat that was. And you mentioned the big buyout, right? So $54 million buyout. Apparently they're negotiating it right now. I'm not really sure what that means. I don't know what Brian Kelly's going to say. Yeah, you can keep 20. Like, no. But this is the second biggest buyout in the history of college football, $54 million. The biggest one was 4 or 5 years ago, Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher, $76 million. And the athletic director of LSU hired both of them. He hired Jimbo Fisher at A&M, and then he hired Brian Kelly at LSU. So that guy, talk about the hot seat. Hey, you better look over your shoulder, bud. You better make a good hire here or you're done.
I said before the year to all my friends, I don't know if I said it to you before the year, but anybody that knows me knows I said this. If Brian Kelly got fired during the year, this would be the one job I believe Nick Saban would come back to coach for is LSU.
Wow.
I'm not saying that would happen. It's obviously up to Miss Terry, but
yeah,
if I were to guess, that this would be the one spot he would leave game day for because he's obviously having a bunch of fun on it.
And it is interesting. Like she was on to made a quick appearance on game day, not this week, the week before. Pat asked her if she was going to, if they would think about going back, what's the number? And she said she hasn't seen a number yet. She didn't say no. She said she hasn't seen a number yet. So if I'm LSU, that's the first phone call I'm making. Miss Terry, what's the number? Here it is. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And it looks like LSU is probably the top candidate now. Probably LSU, Florida, then Penn State, right?
I would say so. Yeah.
Crazy.
You could argue Penn State might be a better offer right now than Florida with just everything that's been going on the past 8-7 years. So definitely going to be a big shakeup coming in next year.
And every single week, a bigger job opening gets there. So it's just crazy to see what's going to happen as we enter November. Not even November yet, Sal. 12 coaches have been fired. 12. Just a ridiculous number. We got spiders flying in all over the place over here. All right, so let's keep going. Another scare here on the top five. Number 4, Alabama headed down to Columbia to play South Carolina. This was a scrappy defensive game early. I mean, South Carolina really had a lot of opportunities to go up in this game. That pick 6 was brutal, just botched, tipped it right into the air to the Alabama defender, pick 6. They couldn't finish their drives, a lot of field goals early. And then out of nowhere, Lenora Sellers throws a bomb. They go up. Oh, my God, is South Carolina going to win this game? Bama, out of nowhere, comes off the deck. Ty Simpson drives him down the field. Touchdown, 2-point conversion to tie the game. Gamecocks had a chance to go up, but fumble by Lenora Sellers with under 2 minutes to go, and that was the backbreaker. They take it in. They actually let them score. South Carolina let Bama score to, I guess, give themselves a chance to win. I didn't love that call. There's only 30 seconds left. You might as well try to get the kicker to come out there because the kicker might be tight and miss it. You're not going to score against Bama in 20 seconds. That was just a tough play, and Bama gets out of there surviving 29-22 in just a wild game.
Yeah, and we mentioned this last week that it's obviously going to be tighter than a lot of people think. Not that South Carolina is the best team in the world, but Bama was coming off 4 straight weeks against 4 ranked teams and 4 victories. So it kind of seemed like, they obviously sleptwalked a little bit of this game. But, great teams, they find a way to win even when it doesn't look all that pretty. So just a big week for Bama to stay alive right there.
Yeah, big win, big comeback win for Ty Simpson and the boys. And, man, he looks great. And, again, they used Proctor at the goal line. They're trying to get that man his touchdown. I want to see it. It's going to happen at some point this year, and I hope he has a great dance to go with it. Let's move on. Oregon, number 6 team in the country, had a little bit of a shaky game this weekend against Wisconsin. Not a very good team, the Big Ten, Wisconsin, for the past couple of years, honestly. They can't score. It's really bad. But this was a sloppy, gross, rainy day. Oregon was wearing their Grateful Dead jerseys. They were pretty cool. Dante Moore did get injured in this game. I'm not sure the severity of the injury. He did not finish the ball game, so hopefully we'll have some updates. But I was talking to you before. Very hard to get the updates on these college injuries. Seems like they're going to wait until that last possible second to report every single week. So we'll find out at Saturday at about, noon, 11:59. But 21-7, they still win. Just a weird game for the Ducks, though, Sal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's only a 14-point win, but, I mean, even if it was a 3-point win, I would never be worried that Oregon was going to lose to Wisconsin on Saturday. Yeah. So it was obviously ugly, but, they did what they had to do.
And we'll keep going with Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets. 41-16 win over the Syracuse Orangemen. I mean, they looked very good in this game. Started off a little slow, but, man, Haynes King is just an absolute beast. This guy is a dog. He needs to be talked about for the Heisman. Haynes King needs to be talked about for the Heisman. He's their entire offense. He's going to run the ball 15 to 20 times every game for 100 yards and a touchdown, and he's going to throw he threw for 3 touchdowns in this game. I mean, he looked awesome, both sides, air and ground, and he just keeps getting better. This Georgia Tech team is a team to look out for.
They certainly are, and, I mean, you said it, dude. This guy, it seems like he has 4 or 5 touchdowns every week, whether it's through the ground or on the air. Like, he's unbelievable. He has 12 rushing touchdowns right now.
Wow.
He has 7 passing touchdowns. So, I mean, you'll look at his passing numbers, be like, whatever, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick. And then you look at the rushing numbers, he's going to have probably 1,400 rushing yards on the year. I mean, he has 650 through 8 games. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And he's unstoppable. But this was such a big win for Georgia Tech. I mean, what they're doing this year has been incredible, but then you really go back and look at it. This is their first time 8-0 since 1966. We're talking about 59 years ago. That's how historic and unbelievable this is. and they have a chance to do way more historic things because that year they only finished the year 9-2. So they're in a realm that they haven't seen in 60 years. So
crazy, absolutely crazy so far for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And man, that last week of the season matchup against Georgia looks very, very enticing right now. Hopefully they'll still be, I guess not undefeated, but Georgia Tech, hopefully they get there undefeated. Keep going. Ole Miss on the road at Oklahoma. I believe both of us picked Oklahoma in this game. John Mateer getting back healthy. Best defense in the country. No, sir. Lane Kiffin and the offense came in and did Trinidad Chambliss, man. He needs to be up there in the Heisman conversation as well. He's been unbelievable. I heard, I saw a post this morning. They're calling it a win-a-dad or whatever. He just wins. That's what he does. Obviously, they lost last week, but crazy game this was. And man, we were texting during this game, and Lane Kiffin had a couple of weird calls in this game. He went for it up by 10 or was it 10 or 14 points? He was up by double digits, and he went for it on fourth down on his own 20-yard line, and the ball got snapped over the guy's head. Like, that was a crazy play. I don't know what they were doing there. And it was raining. Like, just a weird play call that was. But man, Ole Miss looked unbelievable in this game. Their defense looked really good in this game.
They did, and obviously, we both picked OU, but we kind of went with like the odds and history of it.
Yeah,
I mean, coming into this game, we got blinded by the stats. Coming into this game, this was OU's best defense since 1987. I mean, you can look at all the historical OU teams. This defense coming into the game was better than all of them. And Ole Miss hung 34 points on them, 431 yards, 21 first downs. Oof. And also coming into this game, Lane Kiffin was defeated in ranked matchups on the road against SEC teams. He was 0-6. This is his first win against a ranked team on the road in the SEC. So just unbelievable performance. And they have a pretty easy schedule going out the rest of the year. They don't play another ranked team the rest of the season. So they could finish the year 11-1, and you'd be talking about them in the SEC championship.
Yeah, they have a favorable end of the season, especially for an SEC school. And man, Lane Kiffin's name is getting talked about all over the place for these new jobs, especially Florida, LSU now. But man, it's going to be interesting.
Florida.
What'd you say?
He's a big mention over there at UF right now.
Oh yeah, now with LSU too. I think both of them.
Yeah.
Miami had a get-back game this weekend, crushing Stanford 42-7. They were actually tied at halftime, 7-7. This was a very, very weird start to this game. Little concerning for the Hurricanes, but whatever Mario Cristobal said at halftime got these boys fired up. Carson Beck did not turn the ball over this week after throwing 4 picks against Louisville. And man, just a get-right game for the Hurricanes, 42-7. Whew.
Yeah, they did what a top 10 team in the country does. At halftime, I was a little bit worried. I thought, that things might be shifting over there. But I mean, they came out in the second half and just demolished them. So,
and right now, as it stands, the ACC standings are pretty interesting. If everything goes chalk for the next month or so, they will not be playing for the ACC championship, Miami. So they're going to need some help just to get to that championship game and obviously win out. Site of college game day for this past weekend. Number 15, Missouri went into Nashville to take on Vanderbilt, the number 10 overall team in the country for the first time since the 40s. And Vanderbilt controlled the game on defense in the end. This was a defensive battle, man. 3-3 at halftime. No team really could control it until very late in this game. Bo Pribula obviously suffered a dislocated ankle, ugly injury where his leg was getting grabbed back or fell backwards over the pile. Tough to see that one. Hopefully he's okay or recovers okay, because he's definitely not going to be out for the year. But Vanderbilt, big win late in this game. Pavia wins it. They had some wild officiating at the end where they called it a fumble. It wasn't a fumble. They reviewed it. Vanderbilt comes on top 17-10 in a slugfest.
Yeah, this was not what we expected. I mean, we obviously expected a shootout. I'm pretty sure we said it in the last show. I mean, I didn't expect defenses to come out here and play the way they did. I mean, Diego Pavia didn't do anything, crazy, but, just because of him, I had to look up the actual definition of a dog, DAWG, and that is tenacious, stopping nothing, hustler, doing whatever's necessary to make a profit or win. And that is Diego Pavia. He is a fucking dog. Like, he's not going to blow you out with his talent, his skill. All he does is win. He plays hard. He wins. I mean, he's for the boys.
He's awesome. I love watching Diego Pavia and Vandy. And, man, you just can't not root for them. I also like Clark Lee. I haven't heard Clark Lee talk too much before this past week. Him on game day was great. Listen to him during the game, after the game. I really like Clark Lee. This Vandy team's got something going.
Oh,
BYU stays undefeated. They go into Iowa State and beat the Cyclones. Big game for Bear Bachmeier and the boys. This was crazy game. Iowa State controlled the first quarter. They came out slinging. Rocco Beck had his most passing yards ever in a first quarter, and then BYU just kind of flipped it. Right after that, they just clawed, relentless effort for this BYU team, and it just seems like they're never out of a game. Kalani Sitake, their coach, is awesome. I like listening to him talk too. His post-game speech on the field interview on the field was awesome. BYU 8-0.
Dude, he's unbelievable.
Wait, sorry. I got one more stat for you, Sal. Only two teams in college football have started the last 2 seasons 8-0. Do you know who they are?
It would be BYU. It's got to be. It's not Oregon. They lost.
Close.
Indiana.
The two teams that have started 8-0 the last 2 years, Indiana and BYU. How about that?
That's crazy. Man, I'm a huge fan of their coach too. You know who he reminds me of a lot is Mike Elko at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
They both play very, very hard defense, and if they need to, they can score. I feel like they play very similar. And, I mean, he would obviously get big coaching offers. I don't know if he would want to do that. I mean, BYU seems like a great fit for him, but this is a weird game. I mean, obviously I picked Iowa State to win last weekend, and I continue to lose on picking against BYU, so I cannot do that anymore. But they were controlling this whole game, and, like, it was 24-10 late in the second, and I felt like I was a genius. And then BYU goes on a 31-3 run and just absolutely blew them out in the second half. That's what this team does, man. Every time they look down, they just find a way, and then it's already over and you lost.
And that guy, Parker Kingston, dog. That guy's a beast too. Let's keep going. Texas Tech, tough game for the Cowboys. Sal, 42-0 Texas Tech in this one. We mentioned this last week. I think I did. They banned the tortilla toss, right? That was the big story in Texas Tech this week. They can't be throwing tortillas on the field, which I didn't hear a good reason for. I think that's kind of soft. Like, it's not like it's going to hurt anybody. It's a tortilla, just get people to pick them up. It's not that hard. But the very first opening kickoff that they had after banning the tortilla toss, they took it to the house. So that's probably the only way you can get a fan base on board with breaking a tradition like that. You got to take the opening kick to the house.
Yeah. And I said last week, this was going to be a right in the ship game for Texas Tech. I mean, Oklahoma State is god awful, but there'll be a time we're good again. I mean, we've had our time. It's just not this year. And
Sal, we talked about it. I sent this to you yesterday. Every team now, every college football game you watch, they're going to go to that student section. There's going to be a part of that student section where the entirety of it is just shirtless dudes whipping their shirts around. That started with Oklahoma State, baby. They still got the fans. They still sell out Boone Picks every single week, even though they're playing terrible this year. They need to get back. I just said to you, it feels like just last year they were playing against Texas in the Big 12 championship game. It's a shame what's going on over there, but the fans are still on board. We got to love that.
It feels like very recent for you, but as a fan, dude, it's felt like an eternity for me.
What's the quarterback number 3? That's that guy's name, who was there forever?
Alan Bowman.
Yeah, dude.
I throw the ball better lefty. He was so bad, dude. All he did was throw off his back foot and throw a pick to the middle linebacker. It's so bad, dude.
Alan Bowman, what a guy. All right, let's keep
his brother to go to Oklahoma State too.
Oh no. Take that family out of there, dude.
Please, no.
That's not good. Can't be having it. Virginia Cavaliers, another nail-biting game, just squeaking with a win for the 3rd week in a row, correct? Or second? I think it's 3 weeks in a row. They're just barely getting by against Bill Belichick's North Carolina team, who has been getting boat raced by everybody they play. They take them to overtime in this game. It's 10-10 going to overtime with North Carolina, which is just like, brutal. They score, kick an extra point. They're up 17-10. And by the way, the play that they scored on to go up in overtime was a great play call. They shifted their tackles. I don't know if you saw this out. They had a motion where the tackles switched positions. And when the tackles moved, the running back and the quarterback shifted over into Wildcat. And I just got to think, like, maybe the linebackers didn't notice the running back was lined up behind the center because of all the motions, all the big bodies moving around. And they direct snapped the running back, and he took it right down. That was a great play. North Carolina scores, and you know what? Bill's like, we suck. We're not going to win any games. We got to go for 2. Let's do it right now. And I don't know why they did a play where they rolled the lefty quarterback to the right. That was kind of a weird play call, but man, they were short by 1 inch, not even, maybe a millimeter.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't hate the idea to go for it.
No, I don't.
Your year is pretty much over. You might as well try to get the upset win at home.
Career might be over.
You're playing a better team. That's usually what you do. Let's go for the win. But Virginia is they're squeaking by every week, man. It's 4 weeks in a row. I mean, you date back to when they played FSU. It was 46-38. And then they beat Louisville 30-27 in a crazy game. Beat Washington State in a crazy game, 22-20.
Safety.
And then you beat UNC 17-16. It's just – it feels like at some point, man, their luck might run out. I mean, they're playing a stingy Cal team next week, Wake Forest, who is just upsetting people and playing great football. Then you got Duke, who's sneaky, and a Virginia Tech team. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see them lose maybe one or maybe two of those games they got left.
Yeah, and there's always those two sides of the coin, right? You feel like their luck's going to have to run out at some point, but there's always one of those teams a year that seems like they just win every game in a miraculous way. Maybe that's Virginia this year, and they ride it all the way to the ACC championship. You never know.
Ride it all the way to the Natty, huh?
I don't know. Let's not get too crazy. Tennessee, Kentucky. We mentioned Kentucky, a tough place to play sometimes. Not for Tennessee this week. They dominated, put up 56 points down there, 56-34 that final. Just a dominating game for the Tennessee offense.
Yeah, and usually at Kentucky, it's always a defensive battle. I mean, you look back at all the great games there. 10-9 against Georgia last year, 13-10 a few times. But Tennessee, dude, just demolished them. An in-state rivalry, and it didn't even look like a football game out there.
South Florida, Memphis. We talked about this one last week. Massive game in the American with college football playoff implications. Wild game this was. South Florida took a big lead. Byron Brown had an insane touchdown run, just a highlight reel play. It looked like South Florida was going to take control, but Memphis came clawing back 17 straight points to win the game. Wild ending this was. Memphis wins 34-31, and now, again, your group of 5 favorite to make the playoff.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the coffin there. This was a crazy game. This is where you got the upper hand on me last week. You had picked Memphis. I picked USF. But Memphis, just unbelievable, man. They continue to win games. It just seems like they shouldn't. I mean, you look back earlier in the year against Arkansas, what a crazy game. And then they score 17 straight to upset USF. Just absolutely unbelievable. And like you said, now the group of 5 favorite, and there is obviously a few teams trailing them. They get Navy at the end of the year, which is going to be such a fun game to watch because right now they're the team right behind them for group 5.
How is Navy not ranked?
Yeah, I mean,
what are we doing?
It's unbelievable. They're the troops too, man.
Yeah, what are we doing? We not like this country? We don't like our troops? We don't support college football committee or AP poll people? What are we doing? And this was another situation, like I mentioned, the injury reporting, like how it's so shaky and you just don't have to do it. Brendan Lewis, I didn't know when I picked Memphis, he's a game time decision. And he, I guess, warmed up and was like, all right, I guess I'm good to go. And thank God he did for me. Brendan Lewis had a day, 27 for 44 pass attempts, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns. But yeah, he's been good. He's in the conversation we talked about with Byron Brown. Louisville out with a big win against Boston College this week. This was a little bit tighter than people thought, along with that Miami game. This was happening at the same time. Miami and Louisville kicked off at the same time, and they were both sluggish starts. And I was like, weird start. Maybe I guess they're both coming off a hangover playing each other last week, but they both ended up correcting it, winning big. 38-14 was that final.
Yeah, this is a weird game. I mean, Boston College is terrible, 1-7, but definitely hung a lot tighter than they should have. But if you're Louisville, man, all you got to do is win out, and I believe you're in the ACC championship. So
I think right now
it'd be Virginia because
I think it would be shaping out Louisville, Virginia, right?
Well, Georgia Tech. It would be Georgia Tech.
Oh yeah, sorry, forgot.
Yeah, but Louisville. I mean, Virginia just has a tiebreaker on Louisville, so.
Gotcha. Yep.
They had that crazy game earlier in the year.
Cincinnati continues to roll. Sorsby at quarterback had another great game. 41-20 win over Baylor. And Baylor's been disappointing this year. They were supposed to be better than they are.
They have. And they've now lost back-to-back games. You date back to last week against TCU. Their offense was almost not a factor in this game. Sawyer Robinson only had 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. So definitely not what he's been doing throughout the whole year. But Cincinnati continues to ball. Their one loss is Nebraska week 1. So They're looking like that sneaky team coming up in the Big 12.
There's always those random Big 12 teams that pop up week 10, week 11. They're just going to kick you right in the side. Let's go over to the SEC. This is one of the games that I picked. I mentioned it earlier. Texas, Mississippi State. This was a crazy game. It looked like Mississippi State controlled it. Texas made a big play to come back into the game, but then shovel pass, 65-yard touchdown to make it a, 17-point lead with 10 minutes left. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, let's go. Starksville going crazy. Cowbell's going nuts. They're going to win. No, they are not. Arch had his best probably quarter and a half, you would say fourth quarter in overtime. Just a wild 10 minutes for Arch. He was slinging it. The best I've seen him look as the Texas quarterback by far. Led them all the way back. Massive punt return touchdown again by Niblett, I'm pretty sure his name. Yep. Second one this year. Had a huge one against Oklahoma to seal the Red River game. But this was a massive one. Sends it to overtime. Arch gets hurt in overtime. They still end up scoring a touchdown to win it.
This was such a wild game. I was texting you. I was like, holy shit. Like every 5 minutes, something crazy was going on. Once they went down 38-21 in the fourth quarter, Arch looked like the Arch everybody expected him to be coming into the year. He had a career-high 346 passing yards, and it looked like he couldn't miss his man. I mean, they scored that touchdown to go down 10, and you're like, dude, I feel like they legitimately have a chance. And not often can you say that when there's 8 minutes left. So that's how confident I was in how he was throwing the ball at that time.
He losing rhythm.
They play Vandy next week too, so it keeps them alive in the playoff hunt.
He looked so much more in control of the game in that fourth quarter. Like what you said, that was literally just from us watching and seeing his confidence through the screen. They're like, oh, he's about to lead them back here. Like you could see it. He was in rhythm. The play calls were great. He was dicing them up.
It looked like the most sling he's had in the ball all year.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And they're going to need him back, though. Concussion protocol. We're going to see if he's going to be healthy for Vandy, but they're going to need him in that game for sure. Yeah. Illinois on the road to play Washington. I think I got you on this one too, Sal. I picked the Huskies in this one. I couldn't remember the quarterback's last name last week. Well, I'm not going to forget it anymore. Damon Williams Jr. He is unbelievable, dude. He's been great. And honestly, the second half of this game, Washington dominated. There was interception thrown by Luke Altmaier. But man, Washington's offense is explosive, dude.
Yeah, I was big time wrong in this one. I expected Altmaier to have a day, and he got extremely outperformed by Williams. I mean, he had 280 yards and 4 touchdowns. Altmaier had 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. So just completely outperformed. And again, Louisville jumps in the top 25, and then Illinois jumps in the top 25, and then they jump right back out. So we'll see them in about 2 weeks.
Yep, that seems like there's been a few of those teams this year. Like USC's right there, Michigan's right there.
Arizona State.
Yep, Arizona State. Speaking of, they're out. They lost to Houston. Houston improves to 7-1, right?
Yes.
They're in the top 25 now. Connor Wegman, very good. You've been talking about him all year, Sal. You're liking this guy, Connor Wegman.
Dude, they just play the football that you expect Houston to play. They've turned the ball over 4 times this year. 4 times. And 3 of them were against Texas Tech. So you take away that one game, they have 1 turnover through 7 games. It's unbelievable. Their defense plays so good that when you don't turn the ball over, they can beat you. And then you look to late in this game, Arizona State's giving it a bit after being down 24-0. That hit by Katron Webb on 4th and short demolished him, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if that receiver had came down sometime this week saying he broke a few ribs. I mean, he got absolutely ripped. It's crazy.
That was an awesome hit. Great way to finish that game. I mean, just a nice, clean football hit. And I mean, I thought he hit him so hard they were just going to throw a flag, honestly.
They reviewed it, too.
I was looking. I was like, oh, boy, they're going to kill this guy. They're going to, oh, my God, he hit somebody too hard. Get him out of the game. Get him out. But that was awesome. Great football play to end that one. And Arizona State back out of the top 25.
The rant I would have gone on in this segment if they threw a flag for that.
Oh, well, for our content, I'm sad they didn't throw that flag, but for football purposes, I'm glad they didn't. And to round out the top 25, Michigan State. This was a little bit closer of a game than a lot of people thought, but late in the game, Justice Haynes took over, and the Michigan running game, they end up winning 31-20, but Michigan State hung around.
Michigan's kind of been a little bit underwhelming on offense. I mean, we said early in the year we expect the offense to only get better week in and week out, but it seems like it is what it is. I mean, Bryce Underwood has 7 touchdowns through 8 games.
Yeah.
So it's really nothing spectacular. But I mean, anytime you play a rivalry game, it's always good to get the win. But I would like them to look a lot better. They did actually jump up, I think, like 4 spots in the rankings this week. So it's a good win for them, I guess.
Yeah, let's wrap this segment up talking about those new rankings now for week 10. I mentioned a few team that I thought could be in there. Navy, undefeated, obviously, and Memphis in there, has a loss in the American, same conference. Pretty interesting.
I believe Iowa should have jumped in, too.
That's what I was just about to say. Iowa, I think, should be in the top 25 as well. Iowa's definitely one of those teams right there. And when you look at they're not even really at the top of the receiving votes. Navy is next. Navy has 86. Then it's Tulane, then Washington, and then Iowa. I kind of think Iowa has been a lot more impressive than people think. Like, people just look at Iowa and hear the word Iowa and just think, ew, don't want to watch it. But, like, they're actually kind of scoring some points. Like, they're not throwing the ball still, but this guy Gronowski can run, and he's been pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, their only 2 losses are to Iowa State by 3 points and then to Indiana by 5 points. So it's hard to look at them and be like, oh, they're not a good team. I mean, you lost to an Iowa State team who was playing great at that point in the season, and then Indiana, who's 8-0 and number 2 in the country. So it's hard to say they don't deserve to be in the top 25.
And I mean, you're looking at like a Michigan team who's now ranked 21. They have 2 losses. I don't know. Iowa, I think you could argue that Iowa's looked better than Michigan. You could. I really do think that.
Certainly could. I mean, obviously, I don't think they would put Iowa in over Michigan, but
no, they just won't.
I mean, Michigan's 2 losses are against 2 ranked teams right now, but still, Iowa deserves to be in there. I would rather have. I think Iowa deserves to be in there more than Utah does, and I like Utah, but Utah has 2 losses, and both those losses they didn't look great in either of them. So,
yeah, very interesting. Not a lot of change at the top of this top 25. First 6 teams all stay the same: Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Bama, Georgia, Oregon, 1 through 6. Georgia Tech moved from 7 to 8, which I don't know if I love that. I mean, I guess I understand it because Ole Miss went on the road and beat a tough Oklahoma team. But I don't know. Georgia Tech, they didn't do anything to get ranked demoted there, I think, which is always tough for those, but whatever. We still got time. Vandy moves up 1, BYU up 1, and they move Miami down to 10. So I like BYU getting up into the top 10. But I didn't even realize that until right now. They got a tie here. They got BYU and Miami both ranked at 10.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a tie with the points, I guess, there, which is
I hate when they do that.
So stupid. I think that's the second time this year that's happened. Notre Dame.
There's a bunch of them.
What'd you say?
Last year, there was a bunch of them.
Yeah, I know. I remember last year. Crazy.
So ugly.
So weird. So then there's Texas Tech still sitting there at 13. Tennessee up to 14. UVA up 1 spot. Louisville 16. So all these, you get a bunch of ACC Big 12 over in the teens. Oklahoma up to down to 18, Missouri down to 19, and then Texas, Michigan, Houston, USC, Utah, and Memphis round that out. Very interesting. It seems like the bottom every single week, the bottom 5 is a whole new 5 teams, right?
No, it's really what it's been all year, and it's crazy. I mean, Utah has been in and out, in and out, in and out. Memphis was in for a few weeks. They got out. Now they're back in. USC's in and out every weekend. I mean, Houston finally jumps in, but it's just crazy the amount of drop-ins and drop-outs. Like Illinois, Arizona State, it's every weekend with those teams. It's crazy.
And if Navy ends up winning out into the last week of the season, and so does Memphis, they're playing each other November 27th in Memphis. Both those teams would be ranked. Navy would still be undefeated if they can get there. That would be a massive game for the playoff implications.
Absolutely crazy. And bringing up the Group 5, I mean, you have Memphis alive, Navy alive, Tulane's alive, USF, San Diego State,
UNLV,
James Madison, UNLV, North Texas. I mean, that's and Boise State if you don't want to count them out. So, I mean, we're in week 9, and there's 9 teams looking like still alive. I mean, who do you think would take the cake there?
Man, I don't want to count out UNLV yet, honestly. I think that these there's a lot of American teams, right? So there's a chance that they could beat up on each other. Like Tulane plays Memphis, not this week, but next week. So there could be a shakeup there. And I mean, if UNLV wins out and wins the Mountain West, they have a very strong case with one loss, I think. So don't count out them. Not a lot of talk since they lost to Boise. But man, it's going to be interesting to see. A lot of teams are alive right now. A lot of teams.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, if I were to look at maybe best team, I would think maybe Boise State, but they have 2 losses right now, so you have to do a lot of damage throughout the rest of the year. They kind of have a chance a little bit. I mean, they already beat UNLV, so they're going to be favored to go into the Mountain West Championship. But like you said, there's so many good teams right now in the American that are fighting, so it could play into UNLV and Boise State's favor.
It's going to be interesting to see. And make sure you tune in Friday night, Halloween night. My Sam Houston State Bearcats looking to go 0-8 against Louisiana Tech. So tune in for that one. That'll be fun to watch. I'll be rooting against them. But yeah, that's going to do it for us here on the Bobby Valentine Sports Show. Week 9 of the college football season come and gone. We'll be back with predictions at the end of this week for week 10. So for Sal Grinstead, I'm Fred Grampin. We'll see you for picks. Peace out.